controversial. That is Cantarella. We're back with another unconventional review where we judge a character's appearance more than their damage. This time, Cantarella, the most controversial character in the game. But why? No character in Wuthering Waves has been as divisive. Most people absolutely love or absolutely hate her design, though most are in agreement that her writing is good. So, since her banner is up at the moment, let's talk about Cantarella and discuss why she is so infamous. If you didn't already know, then you probably guessed it within the first few seconds of the video. Cantarella is a fan service character. But it's not just that her bust doesn't make much sense in-game. It all truly began with that 2D animation that was in her character PV. Yes, you know the one. It was a little bit too much for some, and honestly, me included. But advertisement's advertisement, and what was terrible for some was the exact same reason to go all in for Cantarella for others. But let's back it up a second. Cantarella is one of the characters who has a unique traversal ability. When sprinting through the water, Cantarella's ability allows her to quickly paddle forward, something that other characters can't do. While she does so, she also glows, which is pretty nice. Bioluminescent, just like the jellyfish here. Not only that, but she can rise out of the water anytime she wants with a heavy attack. It's pretty cool, especially in this area here. But all that emphasis on water doesn't stop there. For you see, once Cantarella gets wet, you can see it. Her clothing becomes more transparent. There are kind of awkward drops of water painted onto her face, and her shiny, shiny thighs. Fan service was absolutely the priority here. Notably, Cantarella's crotch area also had significant emphasis when she first released, which I do have footage of here. But allegedly that was a graphical error and it got patched out. Alright, here's dry Cantarella. As you can see, her clothing is much less sheer. You can't really see through it as much. The thing is, going into the water isn't the only thing that causes her to acquire the wet texture. With this ability, she brings the water to her, which causes her instantly to become wet no matter what. So whether you like it or not, you will be seeing wet Cantarella. Of course, it wouldn't be one of my unconventional reviews if I didn't comment on her physics. While walking, her bust is actually pretty much fine. It's actually much more reasonable than many other characters. From the side, it looks fine as well. When jogging, things are a bit all over the place, but, you know, fair enough. Same deal with sprinting. Actually, most characters jiggle a lot less when they're sprinting, so she's kind of a standout in this regard. As something of a bust connoisseur, the thing that I have a problem with is actually the strange way they're positioned. There's very little support there, and they're kind of just going their own way, you know? I would like to see them more squished. I think that would make a lot more sense given her size, and would make her look a lot more comfortable. The strange way they're pointing left and right makes me feel like I'm asking them for directions, you know? But enough about that for now. Let's check out her beautiful, beautiful basic attacks. This string is just gorgeous. A 3-string attack where she dances with her umbrella and smiles cutely at the end. Her resonance skill is pretty simple, but we get more cute posing afterwards. Of course, her weapon is adorable too. As she puts her weapon away, she makes sure you see that tacit mark on her tongue, yet another aspect that leans right into that fan service territory. Her aerial attack has her lift her leg way up behind her head. That's pretty much aerial splits. I never noticed before how her weapon recedes and puffs out like that before. It really is a little jellyfish. Did I say you had to do that underwater move to make her wet? Just kidding, you have to do the 3rd basic attack string to do that. It is very easy to make Cantarella wet. From behind, Cantarella looks pretty amazing, I think. If people only saw her from behind, I don't think you'd be hearing half the controversy around her. So what exactly is the problem besides fan service? I think it comes down to how her design is from the front, especially compared with the official art. In the official art, the dress part at the front is more closed, whereas in her model, that's not the case. It's wide open and it doesn't really feel classy. Her character is that of a leader. She's a very important person within the story, and she's got a very well-respected role, which is just not what her appearance suggests. In fact, if you didn't know anything about this character, you would think she was subservient to every character. She's wearing a maid-like bonnet, after all. And indeed, that combined with the garter belt and the completely open skirt doesn't make her seem like she's a leader. In other words, her character design seems to be at odds with the character she is. A character that, in general, people actually really love. People love her writing. And so from this view, we see that elegance and that regality, but when we go up and see that bonnet, we start losing that. It doesn't even really scream femme fatale given the fact that it's maid-like. I think this is truly what's at the crux of people's issue with her design. Not that it's fanservice-y in the first place, but that the fan service doesn't truly make sense for her character. And arguably, the same can be said for Cardathea. But that doesn't mean her design is unappealing. Clearly her design alone is enough to sell her. I've seen many accounts from many people saying that even though they didn't like her design, they loved her role in the story enough to go ahead and pull her anyway. But equally, I've seen many people who cannot get over her appearance and refuse to pull her no matter how useful she is for certain characters. Thus, Cantarella is the most controversial character in Wuthering Waves, and it's all to do with her portrayal and her design. Perhaps even more so her portrayal than her design. You see, this tongue tacit mark has a lot to answer for in the minds of many players. Although it's generally inoffensive in the story, and frankly I think the Resonance Liberation looks completely fine and way more respectful than it could have, it's easy to remember exactly why her tacit mark is on her tongue when you see things like her Resonance Chain screen, where she very seductively, I suppose, licks her finger. She's always licking stuff. I'm kind of worried where she's been, to be honest. When you combine the 2D tongue thing, the excessive detail that was previously on her nether regions, the fact that she gets wet all the time, her extremely pronounced bust and open dress, the kind of random maid aspects, the strangely positioned bust, two things become very much understandable. Why people love her and why people hate her. Because if you love fan service, you are going to love these elements. And if you hate fan service, you're going to wonder why this exists and why you need her for meta teams. Personally, I think everybody's problems would be solved if she only got a skin. A skin would save everyone. And how cute would Cantarella look with a ponytail? Hello? So here's what I think. Give her a skin and then people who don't like her design win, and people who love Cantarella get a skin. Everybody wins. There's no denying how amazing her animations are, just like there's no denying her incredible writing. Cantarella is an interesting case for Wuthering Waves, and despite all the fan service in this game, she's kind of an outlier. But where do you fall on the Cantarella scale? Do you love her or do you love to hate her? Personally, my biggest issue with her is that she's eternally smiling. Unlike Frolova, who you can find reviewed in detail in this video.